Alright, so y'all remember how a few days ago I made the video about emotional versus logical, and I did a reaction to that Just Pearly Things video on why men should not be emotional around women. And in my video following that up, I said that it's just in general a bad thing for men to be emotional. Because being emotional means that you are consumed by your feelings, and feelings do not require logic. Which means that you can do highly irrational things for no good reason. And you can actually do a lot of damage when you're in that state of mind. And to prove that, this is something that happened Sunday night into Monday morning at the end of AEW. So if you're familiar with wrestling, then you know about this company. They're the number one competitor for WWE, run by Tony Khan over here, although you're going to question that in a little bit. And this is a former WWE wrestler named CM Punk. And CM Punk, another wrestler in the company, called him essentially a part-timer who doesn't care about the locker room. And Punk decided to take it on himself to decide what the other wrestler was talking about. And it was a situation with another wrestler named Colt Cabana. And he'll describe what happened in that situation here. But that the man's name was never brought up by the other wrestler in the promo, so Punk just made it about that, even though nobody actually explicitly said it was about that. And he got injured and was out for months. And when he came back and everyone had forgotten all about that promo, he decided he was going to bring it up again in one of his promos. And now he's bringing it up again, unsolicited, in a media scrum after a pay-per-view, and he is in a very emotional state. Y'all are about to see this. Oh my god.
Okay, so you fancy yourself a journalist. Would you say you're friends with Scott Colton?
That's Colt Cabana.
So you're not friends with him? Oh wow. Well, that makes two of us. My point is, if you fancy yourself a journalist, even if it's for the silly world of professional wrestling, and you have journalistic integrity, people who report things, mostly that are bullshit and slanderous lies against myself, if you are friends with somebody, you blew my spot. If you're not friends with them, I apologize. But you should probably disclose who you're friends with. I haven't had anything to do with Scott Colton in almost a decade. Probably wanted nothing.
By the way, it's laughable to expect a journalist to list all of their associates in a scrum before they can ask you a question. That's ridiculous.
Do with him even longer than that. It's fucking unfortunate that I have to come up here and speak on this when I'm on my time, and this is a fucking
You're
business.
Choosing to. He didn't ask you this question.
Why I'm a grown-ass adult man and I decide not to be friends with somebody is nobody else's fucking business. But my friends, if I fall backwards, will catch me. Scott Colton, I felt, never would have. My problem was I wanted to bring a guy with me to the top that did not want to see me at the top. Okay? You call it jealousy, you call it envy, whatever the fuck it is. My relationship with Scott Colton ended long before I paid all of his bills. I have every receipt. I have every invoice. I have every email. I have the email where he says, and I quote, "I agree to go our separate ways. I will get my own lawyer and you do not have to pay anymore." That's an email that I have. The only reason the public did not see is because when I finally had to countersue him through discovery, we discovered he shared a bank account with his mother. That's a fact. And as soon as we discovered that fact and we subpoenaed old Marcia, he sent the email, "Oh, can we please drop all this?" Now, it's 2022. I haven't been friends with this guy since at least 2014, late 2013. And the fact that I have to sit up here because we have irresponsible people who call themselves EVPs and couldn't fucking manage a target, and they spread lies and bullshit and put into a media that I got somebody fired when I have fuck all to do with him, want nothing to do with him, do not care where he works, where he doesn't work, where he eats, where he sleeps. And the fact that I have to get up here and do this in 2022 is fucking embarrassing. And if y'all are at fault, fuck you. If you're not, I apologize. But what did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed fucking dumb fuck like Hangman Adam Page to go out on national television and fucking go into business for himself? For what? What did I do, Dave? What did I ever do?
Okay, so when he was talking about the EVPs, he means the executive vice presidents of the company. They were originally 4 members who had founded AEW before Tony Khan came on as a financier and essentially strong-armed the entire company out from underneath them, and fired the guy, the founder of AEW. That was Cody Rhodes, who is now with WWE again. But the problem with that part, this whole thing is problematic. But the problem with that part is the journalist who broke the story about Colt Cabana, which, again, the guy who was, like, the journalist he's talking to did not ask him about this. He was not expected to answer this. He's saying, why do I have to answer it in 2022? You're choosing to. You're bringing it up, bro. The journalist didn't bring it up. You're bringing it up. But the problem is, the journalist who broke the story said that the EVPs were not the people who leaked the story to that journalist. I think it was Sapp, Sean Ross Sapp, I think is his name. But he confirmed it wasn't the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are the other EVPs, and he said it wasn't them that did this. So not only is Punk bringing this up when he doesn't have to, he's also blaming it on people who didn't do it. And then he's also trying to put it on Adam Page for bringing it up in his promo when he didn't bring this up. He just said in general that Punk likes to pretend that he is for worker rights, but the locker room doesn't agree with him or something like that. And Punk is deciding to make that promo about this. And beyond that, you can bring up the whole he has a bank account with his mother thing, but when you're like, well, we subpoenaed Ms. Margaret, bro, you're acting like a child. You are acting like a child. Let's keep going.
Didn't do a goddamn thing. What's your name, sir? Fuck the Pittsburgh Penguins. What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
I made it really clear in Forbes, and I just want to make it clear again. Nick,
it's not his position to make it very fucking clear. There's people who call themselves EVPs that should have fucking known better. This shit was none of their business. I understand sticking up for your fucking friends. I fucking get it. I stuck up for that guy more than anybody. Okay? I paid his bills until I didn't, and it was my decision not to.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have no commented when Nick first said it. It's my fault, and if I hadn't, it's my
that.
fault. It's my fault.
I appreciate
I
that.
should have just taken it head on because you never said
anything. But I'm trying
anything.
to run a fucking business, and when somebody who hasn't done a damn thing in this business jeopardizes the first $1 million house that this company has ever drawn off of my back and goes on national television and does that, it's a disgrace to this industry. It's a disgrace to this company. Now, we're far beyond apologies, right? I gave him a fucking chance. It did not get handled, and you saw what I had to do, which was very regrettable, lowering myself to his fucking level. But that's where we're at right now. And I will still walk up and down this hallway and say, if you have a fucking problem with me, take it up with me. Let's fucking go.
So I'm guessing Nick Jackson, he's one of the Young Bucks. I guess he mentioned it a little bit at some point, but like, I watched this show. I have been watching every episode of this show since it aired 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago. I can't remember Nick Jackson ever bringing this up, ever. So if he did, it had to have been like off camera saying something with a journalist, but the story had already broken at that point. Because like Sean Ross Sapp, the guy who broke the story, said they ain't the ones that told me. But beyond that, there's a point a little bit further into the scrum where he's saying that he's running the business as the owner of the company is sitting next to him, not doing a thing about this blunder. This is a major blunder for AEW, because after CM Punk, after this dude, this angry dude left this interview, this guy was doing a second scrum with the tag team champions. This dude goes backstage and starts a fight with the Young Bucks, just clocks one of them. I think it was Nick, which ends up turning into he gets hit too. His friend and trainer Jay Steele was with him, and he threw a chair and hit one of the I think it was Matt Jackson in the eye. And this guy isn't even able to comment on any of this right now because there are so many legal issues going on right now pertaining to this altercation backstage. And a third guy, Kenny Omega, got pulled into it too. He started attacking Jay after Jay threw the chair at Matt, which Matt only threw because Matt hit CM Punk, but CM Punk hit Nick first. So it was this dude deciding to go backstage and get on an emotional tirade. He could have sunk this whole company. I don't think people understand the gravity of what he just did. This is about as bad of a look as you can possibly have. And there's like a handful of people in the wrestling community, I'd say probably 15-20% of fans who are just like, oh, come on, man, it's not that big of a deal. You can't put your hands on people because they say something. That's not a thing. And when you say that it is, but and it blows my mind because a lot of the same people who are defending this dude are the free speech kind of people. And I don't understand that. But no, you're not allowed to put your hands on someone because you don't like something they said. That's basic. We had a guy named Eddie Kingston in this company that just got off of a 2-month suspension because he swung on another person for calling him fat. And this guy just accused the 3 executive, or is it I think so, executive vice presidents of the company of leaking a story about him that, as far as the journalist says, they didn't leak. He tries to pin it on another guy in the company, Adam Page, who has been there since the beginning of this. He's a legacy member. And then he goes backstage and starts a fist fight. This is so bad. And that's why men should not be emotional. Man, this guy is completely eaten up by his feelings. And he might have just tanked an entire company over it. While this guy, the owner of the company, is just sitting there like, yeah, I'm watching this train wreck happen, but I'm not going to do anything about it. It was one of the wildest things I've seen over the weekend. It's so bad. But yeah, this right here, this person right here is exactly what I was talking about in that video where I was like, hey, don't let your emotions get the better of you. Don't be an emotional person. Be a logical person. He completely let go of logic in this 30 minutes of his life. And if he doesn't get, at minimum, fired, if not charges pressed on him, I don't know what's going to happen. Because like I said, Eddie Kingston just got a 2-month suspension for just swinging on someone. That wasn't actually making contact and starting a brawl, which is what happened Sunday night and then Monday morning. Anyway, just thought that I could bring this up as a really good example of why not to be a hot-blooded person. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video, press that button under my face, and slap that button that says subscribe. Till next time, I love you all.